Are you thinking about getting this 12-inch Kink Coaster BMX bike for your kid, but you're not sure if it's worth the money and why this one's different than all the other bikes? Well, you're in luck today, because I'm gonna show you everything about this bike, from what comes on it, why is it a lot different than all the other department store bikes, and why are you failing if you get your kid a department store bike instead of this bike here. Well, let's get to it. First off, you obviously know it has an amazing color. Look at how it looks, crazy looking color. Next up, we're gonna go to the grips. They got a really small grip. This thing is thick, but also thin, thick rubber wise, thin diameter wise, and then it's got a lot of little knurling right here, which is pretty amazing. And then it's got a little lip right here to help keep your little one's hands on. Also, the flange is pretty thick to prevent their hands from rolling over and getting out of control. Next up, we got the T500 handlebars. These are 5-inch tall handlebars. These are high tensile steel. It's got a small crossbar right here. It's got a small bend right here, small little box, but they look awesome on this bike and they just match perfect. Going to the Kink drop forged front load stem. This thing is a front load stem to keep the bars low, keep the bars really tight to the steer tube, and just good solid stem. Fork cap, you got aluminum fork cap, a little bit nicer than most of the other bikes out there. Next up, you got not an integrated, 1.1/8 threadless headset. So the steer tube is threadless. This thing is high tensile steer tube that goes all the way through. The bearings are unsealed, but it's 1.1/8 threadless. The steer tube's high tensile steel. The fork legs are also high tensile steel. These are the Lance forks. The front wheel, notice how it has a large 17mm axle nut on it. It's got a 3/8 axle, unsealed front hub with a steel body. These things should have 28, or let me see, 2, 4, 6, 12, 24 whole front wheel. They also have a Mission X7 rim and a Nova 12 by 2.25 inch front tire. This thing is pretty fat. It looks comparable to a 2.4 on a 20-inch bike. So if you need a fat tire for your kid, this definitely has it. Going to the seat, I think the seat is one of the biggest pluses about this bike, and this is the game changer between this bike and the department store bikes. This seat is, notice how it's pretty large. It has some like grip on it, pretty heavy duty. It's got kind of a different shape, but if you step back here, notice how the seat, it looks kind of big, but the seat's pretty flat. The reason why that is because a kid needs a little bit more seat than it actually looks nice on the bike. Does that make sense? So like a thinner seat would look nicer on this bike, but the fat seat is the actual size they need, even though that the size is different. Mainly because they might even have a pamper on. They're so young riding around on this, so their booty's gonna be really big. Or they just need to feel really comfortable, like almost like a chair or a couch or something like that. So the more comfortable the kid is gonna be in the seat, the more likely he's gonna be able to ride it. Next up, the reach from here is pretty short, so the handlebars stay into their lap, which is awesome as well. But overall, this seat actually is the reason why people are selling bikes now. When they first started making these little bikes, they made some pretty weird seats, or they had combo seats on it, and it just completely killed the sale, because I would try to get them on a pivotal seat and it'd be $70 more, and they were like, no way, I'm not spending that on my kid. You know, cheap ass parents just didn't want to spend the money to make their kids feel comfortable. But now it's here on this bike, so that's awesome. Going to the seat post, it is a combo, so you can't change it, the angle or anything like that. You could go pretty high, not this high, probably a little bit lower than this, but relatively high. Going to the back wheel is exactly like the front wheel. It just sits in there, just does its job. Going to the front of the bike, we got a pretty cool 1.1/8 threadless head tube. We got the Kink sticker here. We got some pretty dope slant right here. Doesn't look weird or anything like that. And then the down tube, it curves like so, and it just looks pretty rad. Another thing that I noticed about this bike is No, not that it doesn't have cranks. I already knew that. But the fact that this frame actually comes out, and instead of welding the tube back here where it normally would weld, what they did was they actually brought it up here and welded. Up here, what that's going to do is actually going to give your child a place to put their foot on the frame, so they'll be able to put their foot on the frame, and while they're coasting, they can balance and put their feet right there. Another thing you might want to think about doing is maybe put a little piece of grip tape over here. That'd probably help keep their feet on there and make them feel more comfortable. But I noticed that looks pretty rad. The seat tube going right here, just all this angle just looks pretty sweet. And like I said, the color looks fantastic. It's like a purple metallic with a green metallic, and then like we were saying, is that at a certain angle it almost looks gray, but it's not. It's more like a galaxy purple and like a aqua color. But overall, this bike is an awesome bike if you're trying to get your child a really good push bike. It's a lot heavier duty. It just is dope. It's got rubber tires compared to foam tires. It's got rubber grips. Just like a big bike, this is a little bike designed for the little guys to ride like the big guys. So if you dig in this bike, go out and pick one up from stackbmx.com, and yeah, support these videos, and I'll